gas something. Wow. It's all just falling apart. I don't even know if it's worth trying to look through these. When you're in there, ask them if I want to get something, to get a price on something, how I do it out here. Do I just bring it in there? All right, this one's interesting. A real cast iron graveyard. Look at these old tubs like that. Look at the cauldrons and the pots all over. I'm not much of a big collector of the big stuff, but ooh, I see a BSR cornbread pan, I think. Let's go take a look at it. Hopefully I won't get bitten by a moccasin or something. Oh, it's broken. Look at that. It's a shame. Don't know what that is. But this one here. Modern Lodge. Rotting away. What is that? Oh. That is a chicken fryer, a Lodge 3-notch chicken fryer. What else is here? Ooh. What is this? Oh, look at this stuff. It's all just getting ruined. I think that's a BSR. Not sure though. Oh. Oh, look at there's a hole in it. And a crack. These lids. Poor lids. I think that's a Lodge number 8 lid. Really bad shape. Number 9 lid. Be fun to throw in the E-tank if they were super cheap. Oh, oh. Look at this. Okay, that's a BSR. Yeah. Okay. Definitely want that. Look at this cauldron. Yeah, you can bet there was lead in this guy. Hey.
When you're ready, just go get her and she'll come out.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Oh. 12 spider. So much crap. Modern Lodge. I bet there's some people that are going to watch this that are going to be like, oh, get that one, get that one. Alright, so some of these I'm going to revisit. Look at that, it's a garbage can full of cookware. All just rotting. Alright. Let's go. I saw another batch over here. Oops, my hands are just covered with rust. Look at all the cauldrons. Look at them. They're everywhere. I know nothing about this stuff, but I can see the gate marks on everything. double gate marked. Is that a burner made out of a wheel? Cajun engineering. Closer to that. If I don't die on this. Okay. BSR Century Series. God, can't even tell what that is. Possibly Asian. Oh, in such bad condition. Look at this. That's got to be Asian. Oh. Classy, something. Wow, it's all just falling apart. I don't even know if it's worth trying to look through these. 3-notch lodge. Another 3-notch lodge. Never seen that before with the pan logo on it. Modern Lodge. Yeeps. Yuck. Gross. Alright. Now, if I can get out of here without catching tetanus, that would be... Where did I come from? Oh my God. I forgot how cool and dense this place was in terms of stuff. Ah, there's the clean stash. Should be a 3, right? You see the handle? Oh, the handle underside of it. Probably an unmarked Wagner. What's the price on it? Oh, gotcha. Let's see. So that's a BSR Century Series. Modern Lodge. These are all Asian stuff, I think. Maybe a BSR in there. Look at all these little ones. 3-notch Lodge for $15. Weird ones. some of these right here. Lots of BSR centuries here. A large one notch. Oh, it's cracked, look. It's cracked. There's a nice one. Look, a large one notch, but it's cracked. I would have bought that. Yeah. See lots of these 5s all over the place. Yep. Nothing special. Okay, I am back from my flea market find. Let's go over what I picked up. It was hot out there. There was tons and tons of cast iron that were just sitting out there, just slowly rotting away. And I made a deal for this whole lot. This is really the piece that I wanted. I recognize this, and I could be wrong, but I recognize it as a BSR because of this distinctive nub here. It doesn't have a standard BSR kind of handle on it, but I understand that these didn't. There does appear to be some writing down here. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna clean this up and immediately throw it in the E-tank and see what we get with it. But this cute little, I don't even know what you would call it. So I paid $40 for this whole lot. Which somebody's probably going, oh my God, you can't, and including this large 3-notch chicken fryer, number 8. Again, got quite a bit of rust on it. How bad is it? We'll see, but if this cleans up really nice, you'd be worth $40 alone. Although, there's definitely a lot of damage. You can see there's quite a bit of rust on this. But the inside looks pretty darn smooth. So, I'm gonna see. This is gonna be really interesting. I'm gonna take the 4 pictures of everything. There's a couple of Dutch oven lids. These look like they're number 8s. I think these will clean up good, and people are always looking for these, right? So here's 2 large number 8 Dutch oven lids that I just got as part of the deal. Will they clean up nice? We'll see. But for somebody looking for them, this would be trade bait, I think. It also fits on the number 8 pan, so that's kind of cool. And then there's this, which I guess is recognized as a spider, right? Because it's got 3 things, and it says number 12. I think this is a lodge. There's some writing there, CO. This looks like it's in surprisingly good condition, really. So we'll see what's going to happen with this, but this might turn out to be better than we think. This is probably the biggest piece I've gotten. So $40 for all of this. 2 lids, a 3-notch chicken fryer, this spider, or there was a really nice lid that I was going to get, but they didn't want to sell it because they thought it might belong to something, but we'll see. So anyway, that's what we've got. I'm going to throw this in the E-tank right now, and we'll see what happens with it, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so here is our before. I believe this is a BSR. I don't know what you would call it, but it's ooky. Look at that. I can't see if there's any writing or anything, but we're going to throw this in the E-tank, see what comes. There does appear to be some writing there, but I can't read it. My hands are getting all gunked up, so let's see what happens when it comes out of the E-tank. So here is this, what I suspect is a BSR pan that's out of the E-tank. It's been in there just a couple of hours, and I scrubbed it a little bit, and it's looking really good. I really think it may come out to be pretty nice inside. I don't see any major problems. And now we can see it says number 1 1QT. So there is some markings on it, and it's got that unusual handle. The reason I think it's a BSR is because of that type of lid is known to be a BSR lid. And there's a number 1 in there too. Pretty neat. So I'm gonna scrub this a little bit and probably throw it in the E-tank a little bit more. So we can see it's marked 12CO. That indicates that it's a lodge. Lodge use these 2-letter designations to indicate the classification of their cookware. This is a cooker. SK meant skillet, DO meant Dutch oven. I think this is a cooker or camp something. It could probably soak a little bit longer, but I'm pretty surprised at how nice it came out. It was filled with rust and had lots of standing water in it. Rusty standing water. There's no major pitting. There may still be some seasoning on it. It looks really quite nice. Alright, back from the hunt. I did another raid of this antique place that had this outdoor area that was filled with cast iron, and grabbed a few more pieces because the ones that I pulled out of the E-tank actually look surprisingly better. So let's review what I picked up this time around. So I paid $60 for a whole lot, and I'll show you all the stuff. We'll see. So this was completely filled with gook, right? It looks to be a Lodge number 10 Dutch oven. It's missing the lid and it's missing the hanger. And it was completely full of crap. But the bottom is really nice and smooth, so the seasoning is still good on the bottom. There's a lot of really bad rust around the edges. I don't know if it goes into the thing or not, because there was another pan inside of this, and that might have been the pan that deteriorated, and this is crap. I won't know until I put this in the E-tank. But I got a whole bunch of different pieces, and if one of them turns out to be pretty good, then it'll be worth the whole amount. So you'll see. So I got this number 10 Dutch oven, and then this was really nice. I think this might be a BSR cooker, but I noticed it was cracked. Look at that, it's cracked. So the lady's like, oh, this will make a great planter. She's like, you go ahead and take it. So she just threw it in. I don't know if it's useful as any cookware anymore, but it is a nice piece that might possibly clean up nice. I don't know. We'll see. But there is that crack right there. That's a pretty nasty crack. So anyway, now let's go look at the others. All right. So continuing with what I got for $60 was this nice cast iron tea kettle. I don't know if there's any marks on it. I can't tell if there are marks. And it's got lots of rust and debris in it. I've never messed with these much. I don't really know how to identify them. If you think you know what it is, let me know. It definitely seems kind of crude. I don't think there's a gate mark on the bottom. Let's check. I can't tell. There may be some markings on there. But it does have that indentation like it would fit on a stove, so maybe it is pretty old. Okay, so there's that. And there's this. This is kind of a tragedy. And last but not least are these two pans that were ones I was very curious about wanting to mess with. Look at all this. Look at all that debris. Let me dump that in the garbage right here. Just while I got it. Okay, so let's take a look at these pans. They have some kind of a hollow metal handle, right? And they look to be very old. One of them has a kind of a square thing, and this one's more angular on the bottom. So I can't tell if there's any markings on this. This doesn't appear to be gate marked, but I think it'll be an interesting one to see what it looks like when it comes out of the E-tank. And even if this is messed up, I guess it could be replaced with a wooden handle. So this is kind of screwed in there. So this will be something to play around with. And then there's this other one. Again, don't know what to think of it, except this one is gate marked. You can see the gate mark on the bottom. So this is a very, very old pan. And we'll put it in the E-tank and we'll see what it looks like. I don't know much of anything about these, so we'll see. And last but not least is this very interesting pan. A kind of an avocado green cast iron porcelain coated thing. At first when I saw it from the front, I thought, is that a Lodge? I flip it over and it has a full heat ring, and it appears to be a BSR. So this is an enamel coated or porcelain coated BSR number 8. I can tell it's a Century series because it's got the size on it. I didn't even know they made these. This is actually in really good condition. I don't see any significant chips into the porcelain, and maybe a little something here, but most of this is just crap that should come off. In the inside, it's really nice and clean. I don't know if that's a chip in the porcelain or not, but the pan is in really, really nice condition. It's certainly usable as a cooker. Anyway, that's all of that for $60. I figure if one of these pieces, you know, this one, maybe this one by itself could be worth $60. I don't know. Maybe I paid too much. You know, that's what the market is down here. This was a place, especially given the condition, I guess. Look how bad this is. But I'm learning, and I'm well aware I'm going to spend more labor restoring these things than I could probably get out of them, but this is just a learning process, so I'm going to write it off as such. All right, well, thank everybody for tuning in this long. Let's go over the summary of what I got in today's episode. So this was basically the result of about 2 trips and about $100 total for all of this. And some of the stuff was thrown in for free. So let's take a look and see whether or not it was a good deal or not. So first off, the kettle, which I really didn't want, but this was like an antique place. This was not a flea market or a thrift store, so they pretty much had high quality stuff, although they had so much of it, it was just stacked up everywhere. And you're going to see in future episodes I try to go back, but I try to get a good deal, but the woman there is just really a good wheeler dealer, and I always feel like I thought I walked away with a good deal, and then I feel like I might not have. So let's review where we're at, and you tell me what you think. I know everybody kind of thinks they should be able to get cast iron for just pennies on the dollar, but it's not always like that in most markets, and I'm still learning, so I'm making some mistakes, and I'm willing to pay for those mistakes. So let me show you what I've learned and my progress in restoration, and we'll go over it. So first off, I got this tea kettle. I really know very little about tea kettles, and this one does not appear to be marked. I have completely restored and seasoned it, and it should work pretty well. It doesn't have any markings on it that I can tell. I know nothing about it, but I figure it's got to be worth at least $30 restored. Some people say it's like worth $60 restored. A great decorator piece or whatever. I don't know what kind of market there is for it. I don't have any interest in it personally myself. Some people call these humidifiers. You know, you stick them on the stove and they just humidify the room. And maybe that's what they're good for. I don't know. But anyway, I got it. I restored it. It's not super perfect restored. Again, there's diminishing returns, right? So there's that. Let's look at these two lids that I got. I got two number 8 lids. One of them turned out to be cracked. And there's a, I don't know if you can see it now. I put so much seasoning you can't, but they're so heavily pitted. But it's been completely restored and it's totally usable as a lid. But it's absolutely not collector quality. It almost looks hammered. It has got so much pitting in it. These were these things that were sitting out in the yard subject to tons and tons of rain, and they were just filthy. This one's a little bit nicer. You can hear that ring. Versus this one. It's got so many coats of seasoning I can't even find where the crack is, but there's definitely a crack in this. And it's funny that I didn't identify and find the crack until I completely stripped it. And then once I seasoned it, I can't find where the crack was. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't if it's done well enough. And so, but it's, you know, anyway, here's the chicken fryer that it came with it. This 3-notch Lodge chicken fryer. The inside of it is spectacular. It really doesn't get any nicer and smoother than this. This is an absolutely beautiful piece. Of course, look at that. Look at the pitting on the lid. It almost looks hand hammered, doesn't it? So this is absolutely a user. It's not a collector piece. There's no cracks in it. It's an early 3-notch Lodge. It doesn't have the CF on it for chicken fryer. Really nice piece. It came out great. This is absolutely totally functional. You throw one of these on here, you've got yourself a faux hand hammered chicken fryer set from Lodge, vintage. I'm going to try to put this stuff up for sale, you know, but I'm going to maybe have a table at a local farmer's market. That's my plan. And I'll have prices for everybody. I'll have super cheap prices for people that just want to get one, you know. I'll sell this cheaper than you could buy one of these new modern ones. And it's totally a nice pan. Okay. So I've got this other lid. Let's look at the cornbread pan, which I kept misidentifying as BSR. This is a BSR design. BSR came up with the design of this cornbread pan, but their original design, the hole wasn't here, it was filled in. Lodge later acquired, I guess, all of the molds or the blueprints or the rights to BSR, and they started making their own version of this. And you can see this says 8CB for cornbread pan. So this is a Lodge version. This is an early version that actually was relatively smooth. They still make this pan, and I've got one around here somewhere that I actually did cornbread in the other day. Is it in the oven? It is. It's right here behind. Okay. So here's the modern version, right? Which has the egg logo, the modern thing, and it actually says cornbread skillet 8CB. And I've just made cornbread, and it's kind of got that rough surface, but I've seasoned this tons and tons of times trying to smooth it down a little bit. And I have another episode where I actually cook. Ooh, look, there's a piece of cornbread in there. I cook cornbread in here and show it off. So I don't know what, you know, this was just thrown in. It could completely work as a cornbread pan. So I think what I'm going to do is save this for a future episode where I'm going to try to do some brazing or to try to do some kind of machining and maybe mount a handle onto it. Speaking of things that are going to need work, you saw that oval pan that was that was a BSR deep fish fryer. That was designed to fit onto their Sportsman line of cast iron grills. Very hot, very collectible piece. There's actually a lid for it too. Of course, that one was cracked. I didn't even bother putting it in the E-tank. I did clean it a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I do think that crack could be repaired. And again, if I get into brazing, which I think I might, I'm going to try to do an episode where I braise and repair some of these pans after I learn a little bit of the basics. So speaking of that, this is the number 10 Dutch oven, the Lodge, that had a lot of rust. And you can see I cleaned it out quite a bit. there's still a lot of rust pitting, but it looks like it's actually attached to the pan, because I think this is rust from whatever vessel was in here earlier, and it just all accumulated on the edge. This could theoretically clean up really nice, but there's a bigger problem. I discovered a crack in it. Look at that right there. You can see that nice little crack all the way down to about here. So at that point I stopped working on it. Once I started to clean it up and I saw that crack, I was like, yeah, this is a loss, which is a bummer. Nice, really nice large Dutch oven. So again, if I get into trying to do some repair work or fiddling around with things, I've got a few of these things that I have that, you know, are definitely in need of work. So let's get to the good stuff. This camp oven that I was calling a cooker is a really nice Lodge number 12. I got this all cleaned up and seasoned, and it's just beautiful. I would love to find a lid for this. It's got some minor pitting, but it's totally good and totally usable, and just a great example of this piece. So that's really nice. That would be good to bring up into the woods and use it for cooking. Now let's get on to the two mystery pans, which I'd hoped to learn more about these by the time I did this episode, right? These I identified as just really old. I don't even know what to call them. They're not skillets, they're not pots, they're not pans. I mean, I thought somebody would know, and I guess my research, I posted on several of the cast iron groups, and nobody really said anything. So we have one here that I can't tell if it's a gate mark or not, but it has S&P on it. It says S&P. And there does appear to be like an X gate mark on here. So I would love to find out, this does appear to be some kind of a maker's mark, S&P. Who made it? Somebody out there knows. Let me know. And this one has more of a kind of a right angle bottom, whereas this one here, the bottom is more curved. This one definitely has a little bit more pitting in it, but it's still a really beautiful pan, and it's a lot lighter. And this one's marked too. This is gate marked, clearly gate marked, and it says 8WG. So I think this one is probably the older pan. And obviously, there's probably a maker mark on here. So somebody out here probably has gotten similar pans like this. First off, what kind of pan would you call this? It looks like it's a kind of a stew pot or a saucepan, but it's got the hollow handle, which is distinctive. It's like it's a different style of pan, both of these. This one's flat bottom, and that one's got a heat ring. So they're both really cool, interesting pieces that I still don't know anything about. I'm still trying to learn. So if anybody knows anything, leave a message in the comments and share with me what you've learned about these pans and what these maker's marks, or these marks, might mean. And that's going to be it for now. I've got some other stuff. I've got a couple more episodes in the production that are going to be really interesting. I think the next episode, I finally get a really good deal, and I don't realize I get a really good deal until I get home. Oh wait, there's one other thing that is not listed here that let me go get. That was part of the deal, and it's this little guy. This you saw was in the early episode. I saw this, and I pulled this out. I recognized it as a BSR. Because of the lid. BSR has this very distinctive lid with the weird looking thing on some of their stew pans. So this is called a stew pan or stew pot. And what's cool about this one is how small it is. There's a 2-quart and a 3-quart versions that are much more common to find. But this 1-quart little tiny one is pretty darn rare, and I assume this is the smallest of the bunch. So I have only found a handful of them sold on eBay, but they do go for some pretty decent money. So this, based on my research, is probably worth at least $60, $75 by itself. So given the fact that I paid $100 for everything, you know, of course, not taking into account all the labor, which was a lot, I kind of may have come close to breaking even if I sell a few pieces. But it's a learning experience. So I've got this really cool BSR 1 quart stew pan or saucepan. I think Lodge has a version that's very similar, and they call them saucepans, and I think BSR calls them stew pans. But that's it. So y'all be sure to subscribe, click the notification. We've got more episodes coming, and I'm really trying to make them different and interesting. So I think you're going to find some stuff. I may even deviate away from cast iron into other stuff. You never know where this series is going to go, so stay tuned.